Welcome to the Vernon Hills Update. The update offers information about a variety of village services. You'll meet a few of your neighbors and you'll find out about upcoming events. On today's show, we'll talk with Vernon Hills Public Works Director Dave Brown about the village's snow and ice plan, as well as review the early January pickup schedule for your holiday tree recycling. We'll visit the Vernon Hills Senior Center, located in the lower level of the Village Hall, to find out how senior residents can get connected to activities, conversation, and fun. And we'll remind residents about the free Vernon Hills Senior Shuttle, as well as other options for public transportation available in our village. Thank you for tuning in to the Vernon Hills Update.
We are over at the Vernon Hills Public Works Department. We're with Public Works Director Dave Brown. And it's that time of year we got to talk about the snow story, because we've already had snow as we're taping this. But we like to know kind of the process we've got in place here, because you guys are responsible for many of the streets around town. Tell us what you do to get ready.
Well, we're prepared. We've been prepared for over a month. We've had a really nice November, but yeah, what is it, December 5th, Pearl Harbor Day. We did receive a snowfall over the weekend. We're just glad it's not like last year. Our first snowfall last year over Thanksgiving was 15 inches, and that was our inaugural snowplow. So it was nice that we received a reasonable amount of snow. We were able to fight the fight, and we were able to clear the streets, and it was a good first run.
Well, and when we talk about it, we always think mostly about the snow and clearing out the snow. But in fact, one of the things that is most on your mind, you said, is the freeze-thaw and the slipperiness.
Yeah, absolutely. Dealing with snow, if you were from, Upper Peninsula, Michigan, perhaps, they get lots of snow. They get hundreds of inches of snow. Fighting snow is not really difficult. The difficult part in our area, we're right on the freeze-thaw belt, and so we go through a lot of fluctuations of warming, thawing, and back and forth, and those are the most difficult conditions to deal with.
Okay, can we tell us a little bit how you do deal with some of that stuff? I mean, we see the big plows out for the snow, but how do you try to combat the freeze-thaw?
So we have multiple tools in our toolbox. The first thing that we do if conditions are right, we send out anti-icing, and so we put down beet juice, and we put that down to prepare the roadways, because it may take a period of time for us to get in, less than an hour. And so what it does is it essentially butters the roadway, so then when we come here, it doesn't bond to the pavement. The number one issue that we're concerned with is really having bonding of snow and ice packing onto our roadways, because that takes an enormous amount of time to deal with. So that's our first tool. And then we also have salt, and then we have salt treatments. So we put calcium chloride treatments into the salt, and so with that we're able to address different temperature ranges.
Okay, and when we go back to that beet juice, that's when we see you, it looks like you're spraying water on the road, which is kind of not what seems like what it would be a good idea, but what you're really doing. It would seem like it would make it slipperier, I guess is what I'm saying, if we're getting ready for a freeze. But you're saying that's actually the material you'll put down to help it to keep from sticking.
Yes, so there are only certain times you want to use this. You want to make sure it doesn't create a slippery condition. You also don't want to put it down when you're seeing rain coming in, because the rain might wash it away. That's why you put the beet product into this mixture, because it's sticky and it'll stick to the road longer.
Interesting. So that's kind of a newer thing, isn't it?
I think it's been in our industry for almost a decade plus now, and I think more agencies are utilizing it.
It just shows how long we've been doing the snow story, Dave. So, and when we talk about the trucks, you've got big trucks, you've got little trucks, you've got a lot of different streets you take care of, and there are some streets that you're not responsible for. So let's go through where you are and kind of the order of operations, so that we know not to get nervous if we're on a cul-de-sac. That might take a little longer, but kind of how you go through things.
Yes, for us to react to a storm and be able to do it in a reasonable time frame, we have to rely on contractors. The largest contractor that we use is James Martin and Associates. They tackle 107 different cul-de-sacs for us, and we also rely on interagency agreements such as Vernon Township. Vernon Township helps us with the southeast corner of our village, and then where it makes sense with townhome associations, they may have a contractor that they use to plow their subdivision driveways, and so we try to reach out to them. If it's a reasonable price and we can reach an accord, we try to contract with them, and that's really you don't have to worry about the choreography for snow plowing, who gets in there first, who gets in there last.
Well, and talking about getting in there and working with these different people, there are other, you talked about the township, but the state's also involved. Can we talk about state and county and how you guys kind of do the dance of snow?
Yes, so the village is responsible for our roadways, and then Butterfield Road is a county roadway, so they take care of that roadway. And then you have Route 45, 60, and 21, and those are state highways. And this year, the county is working out an arrangement where they are going to help IDOT, because IDOT is struggling with the number of plows and staffing to be able to keep up within Lake County. So LDOT is helping support them. So we'll see this year to what degree we need to help support IDOT also. When it comes down to it, we've helped them in the past, and we'll continue to do that because it's our residents that'll be impacted.
Right. I know that. I've heard that before. It's like, when there's these big events, everybody just pitches in to make sure it's as safe as it can be. Well, and let's talk a little bit too. We always remind people your mailbox is vulnerable, not because it's being hit by a plow, but because it's being hit by the snow load. So you want people to check that. But if somebody does have an issue, you're here to help.
Yeah, absolutely. We do a pre-check of mailboxes just to see what condition they are in. We try to communicate to the homeowner as far as any repairs that are needed. And then afterwards, if there is damage, we do have a policy. They would call our Public Works Department. And if their mailbox was damaged by our plows, then we need to work through that with them. We'll put out a temporary mailbox so they can still get service. And then we'll work through, as conditions allow, how we can replace the mailbox. One important thing with mailboxes that I wanted to point out is sometimes it's the weight of the snow, the wet snow coming off the plows, but the majority of the time is that the door of the mailbox is open. So when we go past it, we are spinning the mailbox off of the wood post. The good news, that's a really easy fix. We just have to take a couple screws, add it to the mailbox, and it's fine. But that is something that I check at my house is how is the hinge of the door working, because if it is sticking outwards, we're sure to hit it.
Because you guys are coming right up along the curb as best you can. And oftentimes, like when you have those temporary mailboxes, we might have to see those till spring just because might not allow for you to do much repair or getting a new post in the ground.
It really isn't conducive to do things in frozen conditions, and so we do wait until springtime and wait for the thaw.
Okay, but if you have a problem, remember, call Public Works and they'll get you squared away with that. And we do have some ordinances in town. No parking on the street when there's a couple inches of snow. Actually, if you can get even your garbage cans off and your cars and everything off the street.
Yeah, winter is difficult. I mean, we all have to deal with it. Winter comes at the inopportune times where it's garbage day too. So please don't put your garbage can out into the roadway. That means we just have to try to work around it. In terms of when you're shoveling, I try to look at what direction the plows are going, and instead of plowing on the up travel side, you try to put it on the through travel side, and therefore when our plows come by, we're not dumping it back into your driveway. So I think that's something that would help too.
Well, and it's not like the drivers mean to put the junk back in our driveway. It's just there's not really a way around it.
Yeah, really our trucks are made to plow the roadways, and it's really a linear operation. We try our best to try not to place windrows within driveways. That's just what comes off of the plow, and it's difficult, and we all have to shovel the ends of our driveway. What I would recommend is, maybe look at the timing of the storm. When the storm's happening, we continually fight through the storm. If you show early and there's a long duration storm, we need to be going through maybe 2, 3, potentially 4 times. So potentially you may want to wait until there's a little more, we're more into the storm.
How long does it take usually to do one cycle through town?
Really depends on the conditions, the moisture content, the volume. Typically, we're able to get through the snowplow operations within 4 hours generally.
Okay, but then, like you said, if you got to keep coming back through and coming back through and coming back through, so, and we want to also your plow drivers have to use some level of speed to get going, and their visibility isn't always great. So I know you're always concerned about kids playing out there, or even cars traveling too close to the plows.
Yeah, safety is a concern of ours. It's a concern of residents. What we really ask is just, they're big trucks. Please keep an eye out for us. We may not always see blind spots through our mirrors, etc. So please don't be too close behind us. And if kids are enjoying themselves, if it's a day off or a weekend and they're building snow forts in the roadway, back of curb, we are not able to see them. So please, consider that and take whatever action you think is necessary to protect your family.
Okay. So that's snow, and I know your snow people are highly trained and doing the best they can. Most of them live right here in town too, so they want everything cleaned off for themselves. So thank you all for getting ready. And I know as we watch this at the beginning of January, there's still some time because that's another task that you guys do is you come through and you recycle the Christmas trees for us, the holiday trees, the real ones. So let's go through that, the fact that you're still doing that this year?
Yes, our operations start on January 3rd, and then it goes for 2 weeks, and we will post it on our websites. We'll get it out on social media. So we have cycles of which areas we will be in on what day, and so that will be posted on our website. And yes, we will be there for two weeks. After that, if you brought it to our Public Works building, we will find a way to dispose of it. We really look at it's a chipping operation. We're trying to be green, so please don't have a plastic bag on it. Save your ornaments for the next year, and try to have them as clear as possible.
Okay, so really just throw the tree out near the end of the street or end of your driveway, kind of where you'd put your garbage, and you guys will come through and chip it up for us. So, and I know that sometimes if something happens with the weather, the schedule gets a little wonky.
Yeah, everything is weather dependent. In the past years, we've been able to work through it, so we don't see that that's going to be an issue this year. But yeah, it'll be a 2-week period, and it's after the holidays. People aren't sure how to get rid of their trees. You put it out on the curb. We'll come by in a rotation. You don't even have to call us, and we'll chip them and take them away for you.
Excellent. Thank you. That's a great service to get that done and know that we've taken care of it in a green way. So. Well, thank you for all you and your crews do. We look forward to a short winter, hopefully, an easy winter. And if anybody has any questions, call Public Works, go on the website, find out what's going on, but they're here to help. So thanks very much, and thank you to everybody who's working over here on our behalf.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We are at the Vernon Hills Senior Center, which is located in the lower level of Village Hall. It's a beautiful space down here. It's so beautiful and filled with light today on kind of a snowy, cold day. We're with Grace Michael. She's the president of the Vernon Hills Seniors. Thanks for taking the time to come and talk.
Same here.
And I know you're getting ready for a meeting, so you got some folks back in the library.
We have a meeting once a month, just the officers.
And then, but you guys get together twice a month, though, just regular.
For a social and a business meeting.
Okay. And what days is that?
First Tuesday, third Tuesday.
Okay, and that's 1 o'clock down here.
Right.
So if somebody was interested to learn more about the seniors and what they do, could they just drop in and come to a meeting?
Yes, they can. And there's always somebody here that can talk to them about the club.
Okay, so that today is a meeting day for one of the first or third Tuesdays at 1 o'clock, or Mondays at 1 o'clock. But there's a lot of stuff going on all the time as we look at your calendar and we see what's going on. Can you go through some of the things that as a Vernon Hills senior you might be able to come into this room and enjoy?
Well, we have cards. We play hand and foot 2 different ways. We have mahjong. On Thursdays, we have a group that comes in and plays bridge. And if there's anybody else that wants to play bridge, maybe they can accumulate another set of people, because these people have been meeting for a long time. And they come from, you know, all over. They come from Mundelein, they come from Lincolnshire, you know.
Okay, so even though it's Vernon Hills seniors, you don't have to live in Vernon Hills to be a part of the fun.
No, just the dues are a different price.
Okay, let's talk about the dues, because it's not something that's out of this world.
Right. It's $10 for a single for Vernon Hills and 18 for a couple. And then if you come from another surrounding village, which Indianwood is considered another village, it's $18 for single and $23 for a couple.
And we're talking for the whole year. It's not like
For the whole year, right, for the whole year.
Well, and when you talk about other things you can do in here, do you guys still have, I remember one time coming by here, you all were dancing in here. What goes?
No, we used to have aerobics, but sadly our lady that did aerobics passed away. So we haven't had that. We used to do that on a Monday morning.
But if somebody was out there and was interested in leading that up, do you think there'd be people?
Yeah, but you know, you have to have insurance. They let her do it because she was a member.
Okay.
And we didn't pay her. We just gave her money for gas, you know.
Well, when you think about,
she was from Buffalo Grove.
okay, when you think about it, though, if you've got somebody who's a member, the only restriction really is you're supposed to be 55 years and older.
Right.
Well,
right.
55 years and older, you might find somebody new coming in here that would have a whole lot of gifts they could give you.
Right, but you know, it's got to pass with our rules and stuff. So.
Okay. Well, so really though, if somebody had an interest, they should talk to you too, though. So in case there is something going.
Right, right.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
if they have any input, you know, about something they want to do, they can come to us. Sometimes we turn them down, sometimes we don't. We would like newer faces here, and we would like for them to, you know, be active members. We got 140 members right now, and there's not a whole lot that are active members.
Well, I think it's a seasonal thing too. I mean, think about it today. We're
Well,
we're
right.
taping this in December, on the heels of a big snowstorm,
Right.
and that's actually when you start thinking about, I need to get out of my house. Where can I go once it clears off? This is a good place to go.
That's not true here. It's you know, when the snow comes like this, they call and say, I'm not coming today, I'm not coming today.
Well,
So
one thing that could help though is you do have the senior bus that drives around.
right, it's a senior bus, it's free. There's a lot of members that can't get on the bus. You know, they're just physically not able to. And they just have to have somebody that'll take them wherever they want to
A
go.
little help with that. One, when you talk about too, you are in the lower level, and if you've ever been in the village hall, there's a big flight of steps that might be daunting if you've never been over here. But there's an elevator.
Yeah, there's an elevator, and they can use that.
Right. So that isn't as quite that's not as quite of an impediment as we might think. Well, we talked about what you do in here. You come in here. You have you join together conversation, food, meetings, games,
There's
fun.
a lot of people that love to play bingo, so we try to input that after our meetings. We have a birthday party once a month for everybody's birthday that's that month. And we have cake, and we have a lot of members that their tradition is to bring food. And so they bring a lot of food. So that just started recently, and we welcome it because then we don't have to bring lunch.
Yeah, there you go. So it's fun and food and conversation. Well, and then you do you do some things sometimes where you leave the senior center and you're out and about. Got any trips coming up?
We have some day trips, yes. We have one coming in March. We're going to go to the flower show and to Navy Pier. While we're out there, we'll go to, and I don't remember the name of the restaurant, but we're going to go out to lunch, and it's going to be about $20, and that's the bus ride and the lunch and the show.
Wait, the lunch and getting in the show too?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't get much cheaper than that. So, and people would just get themselves to Village Hall, and then it is a bus that takes you down?
Right, and when we do plan those kind of things, you have to be a member.
Okay.
And we just started, the non-members were paying double because our tickets are prorated. So what we just started doing last month was one of our deals was to go on a boat ride or something. It was going to cost a lot of money. So we decided we're going to let the members and the residents and the non-residents to come in at the same price. But what we're going to do is, we just did one trip so far, but what we're going to do is try to get the members, the residents to come in 2 weeks before and say they want to go, and then whatever tickets are left over, then they'll go to the non-residents. If that don't work out, then we'll have to figure something else out.
Because I bet some of these trips probably are a lot more popular and they fill up.
Right, and we try to keep them down. I mean, the village helps us a lot. And
Well, the village helps you. I mean, just having the space, and all that.
well, we're part of the village, so they do help us out quite a bit.
Well, that's just a few of the things you've got going on. I know I can hear the people back starting the meeting in the library, and they're probably planning for more things for the coming year as we go into 2017. But let's talk about the facility too, because they're back in the library, and you've got computers and you've got all kinds of stuff.
Right. We have the library. It's a conference room, library, and our media room, I guess you might call it. And then we do have a pool table, which one of our members, I don't know if he's back in India or what, but he's the one that used to use the pool table all the time, but he hasn't been coming for a while, and it just sits there.
Somebody should come over and play some pool.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, and then we do have, if you need a wheelchair or a walker, we do have some of those too. We don't rent them out, we lend them out, and usually within 8 weeks they either are well enough or they have to go to something else.
So if you need something, this is a good place to try.
We have canes and we have toilet seats and we have wheelchairs and walkers.
Well, and you guys know a lot about what's going on in town. You know not only what you're doing here, you know what's going on in town. You know how to connect people up. So even if you're watching this, but you have somebody who might be interested in the senior center, maybe like it's a daughter or somebody's living in town, somebody can give you a call and learn more about the seniors. Correct?
Right, they can't. And the number's on our calendar. If you go into the village, then you can look up the senior calendar.
Yeah, and oftentimes you can just pop down here to the lower level and somebody's in here doing something, so you can ask them about it.
And anybody that's in here can tell you about it. And then up at our window we have all kinds of brochures and stuff of home care and nursing homes and rehab centers, and so they can come down here and look for that.
You guys you're kind of like in the know on a lot of things that are important to the seniors.
Yes.
I wasn't going to say Snoopy, but you're in the know. You're in the know. So. Well, thanks for taking the time, Grace. And remember, if you want to learn more about the seniors, or if you got somebody in your family you think might have fun, coming over once a month to, shoot the wind and, play some cards or have a little snack.
Like I said, you can come and play bingo on our social day or our birthday or whatever.
Try it out, and then your obligation is small. $10 for a resident to join for the year.
Right, and you can come. I mean, some of us come every day.
There you go. And you can ride the senior bus.
Right.
So.
We have two. We have a luncheon in November usually. that we have it at White Deer Run. Okay. It's one you have to pay for. It's just the birth of, I guess, this organization. And then we do have one it's called our holiday banquet, and that's going to happen this Thursday.
Is that at the high school, or where is it?
No, we have it at White Deer Run. Yes.
Okay. So there's a couple things that are kind of like special that you go someplace and it's paid for, but a lot of stuff you can just come in here and enjoy.
Right. Right. And also the District 128 school, they offer us a free dinner and to see their play. It's dress rehearsal of their plays for free. And then Liberty, that's at Vernon Hills. And then the same thing usually in December, which they just had it last week, is a dinner and choir.
So, but you guys are connected. You know how to get in on all that fun.
Right.
So.
They send us, they give us lots of tickets to issue throughout the town. You know, it's not just our organization. I hand them out where I live. I live in a senior building. So I get rid of like 100 tickets every time.
Well, it sounds like a good time. These guys are connected. You know how to get stuff done and how to have a good time.
Right.
And yes, there you go. That's the most important part. So thank you, Ms. Graves, for taking the time to talk with us. Remember, call the number, check upstairs, call the Village Hall, call one of these guys, but learn more and
check
come.
online and go to Vernon Hills Village, and usually they have a calendar on there. They even have one of our applications that you can sign.
Very good. Yeah,
And
so
then bring it in.
learn some more though, but get connected, especially during the long winter when you're trying to find something to do. This is the thing to do. So thanks very much. Thanks for taking the
All right,
time.
thank you.
We are at the Village Hall, and we're here to talk to Mary Gilreath. If you ever come into the Village Hall, she's one of the people who's probably going to come up to the front desk and help you out. And thanks for taking the time today. And today we're going to talk transportation, because as it gets to be winter, I know there's more calls you guys get of how are we supposed to get around in this town? What kind of public transportation is there?
Yeah, thanks, Lynn. We want to talk about the senior shuttle that we have available for our seniors in town, ages 55 and over. It is a free form of transportation, but there are some restrictions and guidelines I wanted to talk over today. It runs Monday through Friday. First pickup starts at 8:30, and the bus has to be back at our Public Works facility at 3 o'clock, so typically the very last pickup would be 2:30. What we do is we have on Mondays, Wednesday mornings, and Fridays are scheduled for medical appointments, either doctor visits or dentists, or we also go to Condell. When you call us, to begin with, we need to have a day's notice, a minimum of a day's notice. So always try to call us before 4:30 the day before you need the ride. If it's a medical appointment, we're going to ask the time of your appointment, and we always need the address of where we're going. For some of our riders who have been doing it for quite a while, don't assume that the driver is going to know where your doctor is at, because from time to time we have to have a different driver come in to help, especially if we're very busy, and that second driver may not know where your doctor's office is at. So always be prepared when you call us with the address, the time of the appointment. Then we'll ask you your name and your address. We schedule 2 people to be picked up every half hour. For doctor appointments, we need the time of the appointment, so that helps us figure out how much time we need to give the driver to pick you up and get you there. We have several people who ride the bus. So it's not a private limo service, so we have to determine what's the best time. And even if you think your appointment's only 5 minutes away, there's a lot of things you have to keep in mind. First of all, there's other people riding the bus. We don't know what weather conditions will be like. We don't know what traffic's going to be like. There have been times where maybe the train has been stopped on the track and the poor driver's been sitting there for a half hour or longer. There's a lot of different things that come into play which could make the driver late in picking you up. We always want to try to provide as much time to pick you up to get you to your appointment on time.
And you come right to somebody's home, right?
They'll come and pick you up right at your house. You need to be capable of getting on and off the bus yourself. Now, the bus does have a wheelchair lift. So if you are using a wheelchair, he will strap that chair into the bus. But when you call us, please remind us that you're in a wheelchair, because sometimes the bus is in for service, maybe just general maintenance, oil change, or whatever, and we're then using a minivan to pick you up. The minivan isn't equipped to do wheelchairs. So if you are in one, please tell us when you schedule your appointment. Then as far as return rides, you always need to call us back at the Village Hall to let us know that you're ready to get picked up. Doctor's offices are always willing to do that. And we will then call the driver, let them know you are ready to get picked up. Again, you might have to wait a while because he's busy still picking other people up and taking them around town. But I mean, keep in mind, it's a wonderful mode of transportation for our seniors, ages 55 and up, and it's free.
And it's free, and it isn't. You don't even have to go stand at the bus stop. It comes right to your door.
That's right to your door and drop you off at your door. On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Wednesday afternoons, those times are designated for retail shopping in Vernon Hills only. So if you needed to go to Mariano's or to Walgreens or Target or Sam's Club, wherever, we do grocery retail shopping on Tuesdays, Wednesday afternoons, and Thursday.
And the idea of doing that too, then, I'm sure you get everybody going to the same place so you can organize everybody that's on the bus.
We try to group people depending on where they live or where they're going to make it more convenient for the driver, because they are all across town. And like I said, they do get very busy.
Well, so you said 55 and older, Vernon Hills residents. You've got those restrictions door to door. It's a wonderful thing. But you said call the day before, and call here. So they might be talking to you because you're calling the Village Hall.
Correct. Yeah. You're going to call the main number at the Village Hall. Myself and 2 other administrative assistants pick up the phone and just, tell us what day you need, where you need to go, the time you'd like to get picked up. And like I said, we try to arrange the schedule. If you say you want 10 o'clock to go to Target, but we're picking somebody up in your area at 10:30 to go to Target, we might ask if 10:30 is better. And the times do get blocked out. We can't always accommodate everybody's needs also. Shopping is strictly in Vernon Hills. We don't go to Libertyville or Mundelein for any kind of shopping. Doctor appointments are in Vernon Hills and a very small section of Mundelein and a small section of Libertyville, because we just don't have the time to afford to go too far away out of town.
Yes, you're not going to go to Highland Park Hospital or
Right, exactly. We just can't do that anymore with the traffic, and we have several people who do ride the bus. So with that in mind, we can't always accommodate your need. There are other modes of transportation available.
Let's talk about some, because another way that's really people have been using a lot more is the PACE, the suburban bus system, the suburban transit system. They've got a van that you can call.
They do, and I see it around town. I know people wait here at the Village Hall because it'll come in here to pick people up. But yeah, you can call PACE. They have something called a call and ride that covers Vernon Hills and Mundelein area. The townships also have transportation available that they may sell, like these taxi tickets or something like that. But in regards to those, you need to call those places direct. We don't have that information of what.
Right. So for instance, for the PACE bus system, the call and ride, you call PACE directly at 224-735-8678, or go online. You can go online and learn a lot. So if you're somebody, if you've got if your folks are living here in Vernon Hills and you're away and you want to figure out how you can get them around without having to have them drive in the snow, you can look on the PACE website and learn a lot. And each of the townships, you can call each of the townships and they'll help you with that. Yeah. Well, and another thing we can do, in addition to calling the townships or the PACE bus that kind of goes spot to spot, the bigger bus system is also in place. We do have 2 routes coming into town, 272 and 574. Westfield or the Hawthorne Mall is the stopping place. It's not like they go around in town. But if you can get yourself to the mall, you can then take stops to the north and get to CLC, or you can get to the mall and head south down toward even as far as Gulf Mill or Niles in that area. But sometimes it's hard to get to the mall.
Well, we do have a few riders who will ride our shuttle. Our senior shuttle will take you to the mall bus stop to make it more accessible for you to take that other mode of transportation.
Okay, so that's good to keep in mind. So between the senior shuttle for 55 and older and the PACE van that comes around that you can call and some of these other things, we probably do have more public transportation than we realize. And then you add into it the Metro train station, which has been a wonderful thing for our commuters. So I guess we've got more options than you think, in addition to private cab companies and Uber and everything else. So.
We do, but it's a great source for seniors, you know, to be able to get on our bus and go to the store. And, you know, you can either tell the driver how long you'll be at the store and he'll put that down on his schedule and he'll pick you up. Or you can just call us back here at the Village Hall. And like I said, we will then call the driver and tell him you're ready to get picked up.
So the key is call you if you're 55 and older, living in Vernon Hills, and want to see if the senior shuttle might be the thing for you. Give you a call. Mary and the rest of the ladies will help you with that.
It's a great benefit for our seniors.
That is a wonderful benefit for everybody. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk about it. And remember, don't stay stuck in your house this winter. There's a way to get around and get out and see what's going on, and Mary can probably help you with that too. So thanks, Mary.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps up this edition of the Vernon Hills Update. If you have comments or suggestions, please contact Mike Stordo at 847-918-3560 or email Mike S. at thehills.org. Thank you for tuning in to the Vernon Hills Update.